Amen, faithful. We're joined by the one and only Rich Eisen, TV personnel, ESPN host, father, philanthropist.
Of the
we wear
year.
many
Sure.
hats. We're so excited to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, let's just jump into it.
Okay.
We're in Indy right now, in the thick of it.
Yeah.
This is your 22nd combine.
Correct.
I mean, you're a seasoned vet at this point. What feels like the biggest storyline that's going to come out of this year's combine?
Oh, gosh. It's a quarterback-driven league, so when the quarterbacks work out Saturday, who's going to kind of show out if there is quarterback 2 in this draft behind Fernando Mendoza.
Right.
I think later on, you and I are chatting on the Thursday where the on-field drills kick off.
Yep.
So the defensive line group is supposed to be really freakishly athletic. So seeing
So I've heard.
who might jump to the fore there. I just chatted on my set with Caleb Downs.
Amazing.
Where does he land? And then, of course, there's all the off-the-field stuff as to who's going to be franchise tagged the Tuesday after the combine's over, with the free agency period right behind. If there's any rumors, I'm not hearing very much here at the combine this year.
It's been a little quiet.
It has. It really has. So those are, just the thumbnails of the storylines here.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you zoom out on this year's draft class, how would you describe it?
I don't know. I'll ask me Sunday, to be honest with you, because I'm about to. That's the neat thing about doing this combine, the manner in which I've been lucky to be in the middle of, is I'm most likely gonna be sitting in that booth in the 50-yard line with Daniel Jeremiah and calling out the names of 98% of the NFL draft.
Wow.
Of the 270 some odd picks that are in there. And so I will call the draft at the combine. I just don't know what order they're going to be in.
Right.
So that helps me for my draft coverage, is
100%.
that I will have seen almost every drafted player. Obviously, there's always some that aren't invited to the combine who do get drafted, but it's a very small number. So I kind of don't know. I'm expecting Jeremiah Love to burst out. I'm expecting to see one of the wide receivers burst out. I'm expecting to see some of the defensive linemen just pop my eyes out with how athletic they look. But other than that, obviously, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that everyone is targeting as a first rounder in it, as we've seen the last couple of years.
Right. And like you mentioned, we had the Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza, out here, but he will not be throwing.
Right, I know.
So that's going to be definitely a
bummer.
piece. Yeah, a bummer, and a piece that you guys are going to have to navigate come Sunday and come the draft.
I'm used to it. I don't remember the last first overall conceived quarterback who threw here was. I don't even know who that was.
Yeah.
So used to it, but the neat thing about these on-field drills is that they last so long. It's kind of like a sports talk radio show. Sometimes you can get into some deeper conversations while you're watching them run around on the field. So that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah,
this
a lot of things to unfold in the next coming days.
Sure.
Let's pivot a little bit. When you're looking at the NFL overall, have you noticed any roster building trends that have gone on across the past few years?
Yeah, I think so. And it really just comes from who's won the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's a copycat league.
Yeah.
So the last two teams to win the Super Bowl had defensive lines who were dominant and some corners who are big.
Right.
And defenders who are big. So you're looking for somebody like Nick Eamon-Warry from this past year and last year. Everyone's like, who's going to be the Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean? And then you take a look around free agency, who could be the next Zach Bond from Philadelphia this year, who is the next, I guess, Tank Lawrence, who could be a veteran that you add to your line. So I think that's the case. We had Kyle Van Noy on our show last week. He said he thinks defensive tackles are becoming the more elite position than edge rushers, because the pressure up the middle is what's more effective than pressure off the edges now, because the ball can be gotten out of the quarterback's hands so quickly. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's why the defensive line group, I think, is of interest.
Yeah, 100%.
Tonight.
I mean, you talk about a Super Bowl winning team. The NFC West was one of the most competitive divisions that we saw this past year.
I was wondering when we were going to turn it to the Niners.
Yeah, the Niners. Let's go. We're on the saloon, so we got to talk about the Niners.
Okay.
With the projected right now, we're holding the 27th pick.
Yes.
What do you see our biggest priorities?
Well, I mean, is Trent Williams coming back? Is he going to resign? Is he going to be the man there? Obviously, defensively, is the team hit the heck out of the defense in the draft last year as Robert Saleh returned. So I know this is the worst thing to say, like who's the best possible player. It really will be that at that point. Or will the Niners potentially even trade out because somebody wants to trade in for a player that they don't have as high on their draft board? That's usually when you're down at that range, what your draft options are.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if a receiver might be something of interest to them. I think that they're a deeply talented team that achieved way over expectation this past year. And, it all came down to that Saturday night game against the Seahawks, and clearly things didn't work out significantly to the point where I'm wondering if the Niners are going to replace the carpets in their locker room because the Seahawks still, are the echoes of their celebrations still linger there. But obviously the sky is a limit when you got this coach, you got the quarterback in place, you got a lot of going for them. I just don't know who they're going to have when they're on the clock.
Definitely.
So,
and you
I hope I didn't give you. I gave you kind of like your typical mealy mouth draft answer, but really, when you're down there, I don't know what your options are going to be.
Definitely. I mean, again, it was such a competitive year where, you're really looking at the team and the roster and the coaching staff and how they develop these players. And we had 11 draft class last year, and rookie development was a huge thing. But John Lynch and co. are so great at finding these hidden gems that maybe aren't your most obvious first-round picks. Is there anything that you have seen in years past? What makes them so great at finding these hidden gems?
Well, I think what their superpower is being wisely aggressive. I mean, the idea that they went ahead and got Jimmy G, obviously, when they did, and then when they got Christian McCaffrey, what a difference maker. And, they went ahead and turbocharged their offense with a guy that you could have at the time said, do they really need? And then you see Philadelphia do something very similar with Saquon Barkley.
Right.
And you supercharge your team when you add somebody of that athletic caliber and, of course, excellent makeup as a character.
Right.
So I think they're always smart and wisely aggressive to add the right pieces. Obviously, it helps to be fortunate that the last pick of your draft one year turns into a real deal, bona fide franchise quarterback as well. So they clearly have an idea of what a good football player is on the inside. Yeah. And clearly not everyone in the league has that sort of superpower either.
Yeah.
So I know so many Niner fans. I know how rabid Niner fans are. I could see whenever I talk about the team on the show, I can see the metrics behind it.
Yep.
It's significant, and it's just a better league when the Niners are really good.
Definitely. I mean, we have that faithful fan base that is so passionate. It's why they are the faithful, right?
Yeah.
So you talk about Christian McCaffrey and all these big players like George Kittle and Brock Purdy. You have often spoken highly of them.
Yes.
In the past. Just what does it mean to them and you as having them in the locker room as veterans that are teaching these rookies and teaching other players and building that 49er culture?
Kittle's one of my favorite people. Yeah. He was also here. He took part in my run. I believe 2019 came and he held up a check for St. Jude.
That's awesome.
He's just great people. Yeah. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. And obviously having guys like him in the locker room just set an example of what it is to be a professional, but also be a human and come together as a 53-man Purdy as well, I've been told, is a similar type of guy.
Yep.
So it means, I'm sure, a hell of a lot to somebody like Shanahan, where you don't have to worry about things because those guys can handle whatever needs to be handled. And if it raises to his level of having to deal with it, he will.
Yeah. Having those guys, so great on and off the field definitely makes one of those impacts in this league. In your eyes, is this roster still a Super Bowl caliber roster?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
you heard it here, you guys.
No, I mean, think about it. I mean, that Saturday night, Niners could be the 1 seed throughout. Instead, you got, and then the Rams would have been in third place team.
Right.
The Seahawks would have been on the road to start the playoffs. Who the heck knows who'd be walking around here as the Super Bowl champs at the Combine. It was right there for the taking, and it wasn't a flash in the pan. It wasn't because they had a 4th place schedule. They were a terrific team who's got a head coach who knows how to dissect things and prepare. And then you've got another draft coming and smart free agent moves. Just get the injury gods on your side a little bit more, and we'll see what happens.
Definitely. I think you won the faithful over with that answer there.
Good. Yeah.
Coming out of this year's draft, what's the headline? If you could predict a headline that's going to come out of this year's draft, what's the prediction?
The headline coming out of this year's draft is who knows?
Yeah.
More so than many other drafts. Who knows? Who knows if Fernando Mendoza is going to be the first overall pick savior of a Vegas franchise that needs him to be as good for them as he was at Indiana and Cal before that. Who knows which one of the other top 10 picks is going to be as dynamic as these teams hope. And then Jeremiah Love, where does he wind up? What does that mean? Clearly, though, if you'd asked me this question last year, I would not have seen Shedeur Sanders dropping to the 5th round coming.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my best stab at what the headline would be.
Expect the unexpected when it comes to the draft at this point in the year, right?
Yep.
I can't not ask. I can't let you go without asking. Run, Rich, run.
Yeah.
It's just become such a great Combine tradition that
Thank
everyone
you.
looks forward to.
Thank
I mean,
you.
22 years of it?
Yeah. It's
coming
been
up on 22 years of it?
Well, pardon me. It's
No worries.
22 years that I've been at the Combine, and I guess 22 years that I've run. But the concept of having a charitable event around it is about 11 years old, about half that time.
Yeah.
And so just born out of sheer boredom here, I ran the 40 in a suit and tie. And about 11 years ago is when the idea of doing it for charity was born. We're $8 million in, another year to do it. And we show it on the last day of the draft coverage. So we're going to do that again this year and hope that we get close to $9 million this year.
All right, you've hit sub 6 seconds.
I have.
5 times.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Thank you for researching that.
Of course. Are you going to hit it this year?
Absolutely not.
Well, folks, you heard it here.
Absolutely
Don't
not.
place your bets on that one.
Please don't.
But we appreciate you being here so
Yeah, you
much,
got it.
Rich. And
Pleasure.
good luck the rest of Combine Week and
Same
heading
to
into
you.
draft.
Same to you.
Thank you.